Good morning, everybody. Excellent. So, we have a very, very amazing panel here, a bunch of very young professionals. And I think I was joking with KSV that I think they chose the youngest person to moderate the session as well. So I feel very young this morning, and the energy is already sort of, feeding into me. So, we'll jump right in. The topic is what is a 10x engineer mindset, right? And I think I'm going to start this question first with Muskan. Muskan, why don't you tell me a little bit about what is your interpretation of a 10x engineer mindset?
Sure. Thanks for the question. First of all, it's bad I'm starting with a negative note, but I'll say what 10x engineer doesn't mean. It is not only they are 10x smarter or they do work like 10x work, but it's something I feel that if a 10x engineer is there in the room, he or she makes the other 10 engineers twice as productive they are. So they are someone who adds value by creating, by innovating, by making the workforce better, and by making the workplace a better place to be in.
Okay, that's a nice perspective. Maybe I think it'd be good, Nikhil, if you want to give me your perspective and see, do you agree with what you heard from Muskan, or do you have a different point of view?
Um, I have a different point of view. So 10x engineering mindset by definition or by concept is how you evolve with the wind or with the nature of the technology. So when you are a 10x engineer in this era, you have to have different hats or different ideologies. Like you just cannot be a super engineer in one particular domain. You should have different aspects. Like you have to be a full stack developer in some. You should be a salesperson in some meetings. You should be an innovator in another meeting. So something like that.
Okay, that's a good perspective. Maybe Rohan, it'll be good if you can give me a perspective about what does a 10x engineer mindset and the way you think of it have relevance for the industry you're in. Now, you've done a lot of work in the space of looking at healthcare and other domains. Is there a relevance for this mindset that is specific to a particular domain as well?
Yeah, I think the 10x engineer mindset also, we were hearing, right? They are not only productive themselves, but they also sort of take the entire team along with them together to build better products and better solutions out there. Specific to the industries that I have experience in, I think we are fortunate enough today that we in the initial part of our careers that we are getting to see this transformation of solutions happening, right? We have AI coming in, we have quick technologies coming in that help us to accelerate development of products. So talking about healthcare, and also now that I am part of Western Digital in terms of storage technologies, I think innovation and also optimization plays a big role in thinking about how a 10x engineer would think like. They not only build products, but they also build solutions that are more sustainable from a future perspective, and are also more reliable to build a reputation of the company to build better products. Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. Shubhani, so from what we've heard from the panel in terms of what a 10x engineer is, do you think it's a mythical figure like a unicorn, or do you think there's more than to it in your context?
Yeah, okay. First off, thanks for having me here. So if you're asking me that whether a 10x engineer exists or not, so first off, if anyone here calls them a 10x engineer, hi, I'm Shubhani and I would like to meet you. Because what I think is, when you're calling yourself a 10x engineer, the first thing that comes up in my mind is, you're just working on something that you've already worked on 1,000 times over. Okay? Because the most popular definition that I could find on internet related to what a 10x engineer is, it was related to 10x the output. Well, I think I'll agree with Muskan here that we should be talking in terms of value. Value added to the team, value added to the business, or value added to the client. And with that, I'd say that for this, you really need to have innovation. That is where in our organization as well, the idea of thinking breakthrough comes into picture. No one in my team is going to look into the number of the bugs I'm solving on the board or the number of the tasks that I'm closing on the board every day. No. They're going to look at the idea and my ability to identify the problems, to suggest the solutions for it. And those ideas and the solutions are the prospects for the future. Prospects for a future product, prospects for a future solution, or prospects for a future system. So I think that is how I look at it.
Okay. So I think having heard all of you now, I think what I'm hearing is that there is an element of myth to it. However, there are attributes of what a 10x engineer is that can really help drive an organization. I don't know what happened here, but I hope all is well. But so, maybe then I think, Nikhil, let's go a little bit deeper, right? In terms of while it may not itself as an 10x engineering mindset exist, how is the culture of an organization going to help propagate the idea of coming closer to a 10x engineering mindset and help us think through both theoretically what that might mean and then what it means for you at ABB as well?
Okay, so for a 10x engineer or a 10x engineer mindset, the main thing is having a safe space to fail and also giving responsibility to the person you think is able to deliver to a solution. Those are the main things which I am fortunate to have in this company which I'm working for, where ABB is supporting me to do that. And also, as Shibani was telling, that it's a myth or it's very difficult and you should need to concentrate more on the solutions you deliver rather than getting productivity or getting the number of hours you put in, because having that solution indirectly will 10x the income to the company rather than working 10x hours or putting 10x hours effort in it.
Okay. Muskan, maybe you can give us a little perspective from your lens about what kind of a culture is the most apt for organizations today in India to be able to at least aim to deliver the 10x mindset that we think is such an important facet of driving innovation and productivity.
Sure. So for this, what I think is first thing, the open culture where people are sharing ideas flawlessly. They are not scared that they are going to fail. And today in Siemens Healthineers, at least, we have that flexibility and that acceptance that even if we fail, it's fine, but still we are trying to create something. So this is one, the open space for addressing, for having ideas. And the second thing is having a growth mindset, having a positive feedback mindset, where people are accepting the feedbacks and are giving positive feedbacks for growth. And that is what all makes a difference.
Okay, that's great. I think on this one, I'm hearing fairly similar thoughts. Shubhani, why don't you come in from your perspective on what this means from culture? Do you agree with what you've just heard, or do you have a different point of view?
Yes, I think that organizations are what are making a difference, and organizations should take initiative. So if I talk about my organization, they have taken multiple initiatives. I'm really sorry for the long list that I'm going to be talking about already. Just bear with me. So Nigaro is already a co-founder and partner with Plaksha University. Anyone from Plaksha University here? There was a bunch of guys yesterday. Okay, I don't think anyone is here right now, but yeah, there was a bunch of guys yesterday from Plaksha University, so we have collaborated with them. We are providing them training, so make them industry ready. There is also apps like Smart Street, which allows the college students, the aspirants, to connect with us so that they can be industry ready before they even enter into the industry. Because a lot of times what I hear is when the people join the industry, the companies say that the candidate is not ready, and the candidate said that the company is not ready to accept us. So I think there is a gap which needs to be filled, and I think that organizations can be taking a very useful step towards it and can help foster that mindset from the very roots, from the very get-go. So yeah, initiatives from candidates, I think they're already putting in efforts, but initiatives from organizations as well.
Okay. So I think this is an important topic. So maybe I think Rohan, from a Western digital lens, what's your thinking on what the culture aspect should be and is from your perspective?
No, I think very valid points that, it should be a fail-safe environment and also growth mindset. A little thing to add over there is, in the ground reality, something that happens is if we have a team of 10 people, only a couple of them are given the privilege of working on innovative solutions and, getting the luxury to fail, and rest of them are not. At least the team that I'm working on, everybody is a lead of a project that is going on. Everybody has that onus on them, the accountability on them, and they have the responsibility of the product that they are building, plus also the failure that would happen, right? That mindset of getting that accountability in place, not just reserving it to the superstars of the team, but to every person in the team, because everybody has that capability and creative mindset in the team. That's why they're in the organization, will really help. So extending these privileges to everybody in the team, I think that is what I have seen in Western Digital. Get that culture is very generic and encouraging for all the people out there. Yeah.
So Rohan, you mentioned about the fact that oftentimes there are a selected set of people that are working on the large or critical or sort of the top of the mind kind of projects, right? So Nikhil, maybe help me, do you think that's a valid perspective, that there are some pieces of work that deserve or are considered more attractive than the pieces of work that might be not those? And how does that fit in from your perspective, from an ABB lens?
So I guess we have the same team structure what even Rohit was talking about. So like each of us are owners of each project which we have, and also to disconnect whatever you told. So we have weekly huddles where each person in the team should present something which he is uncomfortable with or out of the box, so that it evens out the playing ground, and all the other team members also know what is his strength point, or if he has learned something, we learn fast. And that approach, we get an accelerated, learning as a team, as an individual as well. So that's how we do it.
Okay, great. Shubhani picked up on a point, Muskan, and said that there is a whole element of how do we make industry and academia work more together, right? And I know that all of us here espouse that, while most of us do campus recruiting and other events, there is a lot of talk about the fact that, being able to impress upon academia what the industry really wants is important. Give us a sense, Muskan, of do you believe as a country first, we are doing enough in that? And then specifically, what are your thoughts on how can we make that partnership be more effective from the lens of driving innovation, for us both for you as a firm as well as for the country?
I think now the lens have changed a lot, and the perspective have also changed, where organizations are doing a lot of collaborations with the universities, and even universities are willing and giving 1-year-long internships. There are hackathons around. After joining Siemens, I have attended 4 hackathons as such, and all these things give us a platform to perform. And now it's individual driven how much they look up to or they grab the opportunities. And as Siemens Healthineers also, we can never be successful just being an organization without any collaboration, because in the healthcare domain, the success is when we collaborate with the hospitals, the healthcare universities that are working on medicines and equipments. So we have in place hackathons, lab facility visits, collaboration, hospital visits, and so on and so forth to like what I can say to facilitate these things further.
But Muskan, I think the question is that is from a organizational lens, right? For people that are today studying in college, right? And are aspiring to, for example, make a career in, let's say, healthcare as an example, right? Talk us through from that lens, right? What can colleges do more of today in such a fashion that when they are having graduates reach out for opportunities, they are far more equipped to be productive from day one, you know, if they have an interest, for example, let's say in healthcare.
So what a university or a college can do is having the holistic development of the individual. It shouldn't be just classroom learning, but a perfect balance of applied as well as the classroom learning, where they give them the opportunities to do project-based learning, lab-based learning, and also give them an opportunity to do internships in various organizations to get that feel far before they join the organizations and are industrial ready.
Okay, great. I think you used a word called applied learning, right? And let me take this one to you, Rohan. What is your sense? You know, do you think, and having all of you are very recent entrants to the workforce, right? Do you think that the academic journey that you all went through had enough applied learning? And you know, what is it as a suggestion that you have now being in the workforce and you know, onto your second employer that you think is relevant for us to consider?
Right. I think we can see it in both lenses. There are negative points and positive points also. Universities today are focusing on applied learning, but I think that's in a very nascent stage. They are collaborating with industries to have internships or lab setups in the universities and stuff like that. But I think there is a need to also encourage people to drive any domain that they would like to work for, right? Because we have seen that, you know, some universities stand for particular domains, like some universities work only for, let's say, logistics industries, and some universities only work for, let's say, aerospace industries and so on. Students come from all backgrounds. So I think that there is a need to have a all-round encouragement of students so that they can go and work in any domain that they would like to do for, by, you know, promoting internships or promoting collaborations with industries and so on. At least now that I am in this field, what I am thinking is, now if I would have known that, you know, let's say, not only does productivity but also communication, right, is an important part of our day-to-day activity, right? Every day we have, let's say, meetings, we have to present our work, we have to think out of the box. If along with, let's say, programming knowledge or projects that I did in my bachelor's and master's, if there was a course that also helps me think from business point of view, from strategic point of view, right? How my product will end up earning more revenue to my company. If there are these applied as well as strategic courses being offered, I think that will help a lot for the coming generations, I feel.
Well, that's a very useful thought. So maybe, Nikhil, let me come to you, right? You know, we heard, you know, the team and Rohan talk a little bit about the fact that there should be, you know, more opportunities and there's specialized training, etc., right? Now, you know, we're at the Design and Engineering Summit here, right? And typically India, you know, the default has always been to look at, you know, can I create a career in software? We are seeing a change now of people wanting to specialize in pure engineering, pure research, design work, right? How do you suggest that, you know, we encourage and raise the bar and the quality of the you know, the people that want to go into a career in this domain and are looking, for example, to seek admissions to universities and colleges that can create the foundation for that, versus trying to have, you know, a lot of people look to either transition to more software work or decide to go overseas for either educational opportunities in this domain?
Yeah, I guess when we come from an engineering company, so the gap is a bit more. For a software company, there are courses in place and all other activities in place, so that for a software background person, the current scenario is okay or better than what we see in a domain perspective. For people coming to engage themselves in a pure engineering perspective, so what as a company we have done is we have started for third year internships or people in their third year and fourth year, because fourth year is too late. So we try to inculcate the domain knowledge for them in the third year internship period. So in the 6 months which they spend here in their third year, they are exposed to a lot of industrial terminologies, industrial concepts, as well as they are part of industrial deliveries as well as projects which we carve out for them, which are small and executable, so that when they come for the fourth year, they're a bit more ready. And once they are into the industry, they are ready or mostly ready, and we don't spend more time engaging them in the transition between pure technical knowledge and a business use case and how we do that. So yeah.
Okay, that's great to hear. Shubhani, what's your thought on this? I know you come from a software background, but talk to us more broadly about what do you think is a way that we can drive that transition to really creating more scalable and high quality engineering talent.
Okay, so first I'll also talk about my experience of when I was trying to join the industry, or what is my experience when I joined the college and then went to the industry. So I think I'll be a really good candidate for that, because I was first interested so much in hardware. In my college, I used to build LFRs and drones. We used to have winter trainings, which was used as to train us in making all of this hardware. And it was really interesting, because one thing with hardware is if it is successful and you get to see that thing moving and doing its thing, it is really interesting. So there was that, but then the initiative was taken by the college itself. Now, as Nikhil mentioned, that there are a lot more opportunities in software. So I think that was the thing that got me into software as well. And here, like today I'm sitting as a data engineer. But then I also think that if the organizations have to take an initiative, there are a lot more initiatives, like as we have already heard from the co-panelists, that there are a lot more collaborations going on between the universities and the organizations. So that needs to go on. Along with that, I also think that in the college itself, there needs to be a culture, the culture that we were talking about. So the culture can be, for example, in my college, there used to be societies. The societies like GDG and IEEE, they were encouraging the students to participate and explore different things. For example, before becoming a data engineer, I explored multiple domains. I had tried mobile app development, I had tried front-end engineering, then at the end, I zeroed down to the data engineer. So that is what I think, that if there are organizations like GDG and IEEE, then why can't the organizations, the big organizations, create societies like that in the college itself? So that will, instead of just waiting for the third year to come and then the students to join the organizations, why don't we start it from the first year itself in the form of what was it? In the form of those clubs and activities. So we can start it from the first year itself.
Okay, that's a great idea. Muskan, I want to steer a little bit more towards, as we move towards the end of the session, right? You work with a lot of colleagues that are, sitting in overseas locations, right? You're all working for multinational firms. When you look at the quality of the work that is being done globally, and in fact, sometimes the depth that they have, right, in going deep in a particular topic. We often hear from industry forums and from organizations that, while India is great at scale, finding deep and depth and quality, is not as simple as it is sometimes made out to be. What is your experience in terms of your interactions, and any thoughts you have about how can we really create a culture of driving more depth and quality from the kind of work that we do in the industries that we are operating in?
Sure. So first thing that I'd like to mention is There are words that are just buzzwords for us, and we just use generative AI, we use scalability, we use agility, but we don't know the meaning actually what it stands for. So that is the major shift that I've seen overseas. There people, if they are using anything, they actually know what it means and at what context they are using. So the first thing is the awareness about certain things. It's not just to use, you need to be aware about what these things are. And the second thing is, from the childhood, from the preliminary stage, upskill and development should be a continuous process. It's not a child is just studying because his mom or dad is like scolding him, you have to study. They need to have the interest when they have a positive feedback mechanism that this is what the next step would be and what would you like to do, giving them an option and then making them explore multiple options around, and that would again lead a change.
Okay, wonderful. Rohan, your quick thought on this?
Yeah, just to add to her point, right? So I think two things that can probably help this. It's not. I personally don't feel that there is a lack of deep expertise or the ability to go deep into a particular domain here in India, because the organizations that I work for, and I come from a research background, I have seen teams here getting more patents and more conference publications than the teams that are sitting outside and overseas, because we have brilliant PhD scholars, we have brilliant academic backgrounds over here who are in no way less than the other people. The only thing that can become a hurdle in this is the lack of opportunity. One thing that I have seen is, and opportunity does not only rely on the academia part of it, but also on the industry part of it. There are some entry-level training programs that many industries offer. I know Siemens offer, I know GE offers, WD offers, and so on, where people who are fresh out of the college are given some projects to lead, and they are the sole owners of the projects. The same programs also happen outside, right, in the other countries. But I've seen that these fresh graduates are given a lot bigger responsibilities. They are made a part of a lot crucial projects in the early part of their careers than what people over here are, right? So, having confidence on the early talent that they can deliver, they can make it till the end, is, I think, still in a very nascent stage over here. We only reserve the crucial projects for the people who have spent, I think, considerable time in the industry, but I think that can change, that has to change. Giving that ownership to the early talent can definitely make a difference, and that will enhance the deep expertise that you were talking about.
Sure. I think the clock is winding down, and I think, I hope for all of you here, you've taken some thoughts about what does it mean in your workplace to drive innovation, design, research, etc. And even for those of you that have children, what and how you need to think about if they want to pursue careers. The last quick fire round, I just need one from each of you, one word that comes to mind about if you, as an advocate for ER&D in the country, what's the one word that comes to your mind? We'll start from my left.
Collaboration is one main thing.
Continuous learning.
Collaboration, continuous learning. Muskan?
Enthusiasm.
Enthusiasm.
Curious mindset.
Curious mindset. Great. I think so. You've heard everyone talk a little bit about, the fact that, there is a lot of opportunity. There are clearly success stories. There are people that are, have deep research backgrounds that are coming into the workforce, and that there's an opportunity to drive a very strong industry and academia, applied learning, applied research perspective. I hope that's a valuable message that we can take away to our organizations and funnel that value and input back to organizations like nasscom, local governments as well. So thank you all for your time today, and thank you to the panelists for a wonderful and frank conversation.
Thank you so much.
For more content on tech and leadership, subscribe to nasscom YouTube channel and press the bell icon to never miss an update.